Hello and welcome to Newsroom series on Channels Television. I'm Ayo Tunde Balugum. Today our focus is on the southeast region, but first, here's our top stories. We begin with the developing story of the tragic abduction of students in Niger State, and we are now receiving new amateur footage from that scene. Now, these latest visuals show the students being urgently evacuated from the St. Mary's Private Catholic Secondary School in Papiri just hours after armed bandits stormed the compound and abducted several children. The clips capture the tense atmosphere, shaken students being led out by security personnel and community volunteers, some clutching their belongings as they are moved to safer locations. The evacuation follows an overnight attack that has left the community in deep fear, and authorities are continuing coordinated efforts to help secure the release of those taken. In Ebonyi, the State Police Command has rescued a kidnapped victim and arrested 3 suspects operating in the Ezangbo axis of Ohaoku local government area. This is contained in a press statement released on Sunday by the police spokesperson, SP Joshua Okandu, and obtained by Channels Television. Okandu stated that on November the 13th this year, a kidnapping syndicate terrorizing the Ezangbo axis in Ohaoku local government abducted one Obasi Tangod, tied him up, and abandoned him inside a hotel toilet while demanding a ransom of 5 million naira. Through diligent intelligence gathering, operatives of the command traced the hideout of the kidnappers, successfully rescued the victim, and arrested 3 suspects, namely Uchenna Ugbozuru, Ebuka Ejogu, and Chizoba Ogwa. Now, the police spokesperson said the suspects are currently in custody and will be charged to court after investigations. In a similar operation, operatives of the command, while on routine patrol along the Ehamofu-Kalagu Road, immediately reacted to a critical situation upon hearing the sporadic gunshots and distress screams. The Central Bank of Niger, the CBN, is sensitizing and engaging bank stakeholders on alternative payment channels, which aims to boost financial inclusion and economic growth in Nigeria, especially in the rural areas. At the International Convention Center in Awka, Anambra State, the venue of the program, the fair is part of the Apex Bank's efforts to promote, among other things, digital payment options that make banking easier and more accessible, especially to people in remote or unbanked areas.
Awka in Anambra State plays host to the Central Bank of Nigeria's meeting with residents and business owners on the use of alternative payment channels as tools for financial inclusion, growth, and accelerated economic development.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen,
it's a continuation of the CBN initiative to sensitize Nigerians on the importance of moving beyond traditional cash-based transactions to more efficient and secure digital payment methods.
The strategic goal of the Central Bank of Nigeria in Ghana the economic development of our dear nation cannot be overemphasized, as the bank is at the forefront to modernize the payment system and promote financial inclusion in order to enhance the economic welfare of the citizen.
The Anambra State Governor, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, is represented at the event by the Managing Director of the Anambra Small Business Agency, ASBA, Mr. Clement Chukwuka. He commends the CBN for providing a favorable business environment for bank stakeholders.
What the Central Bank is doing here is not more than creating a better environment for the financial inclusion to operate very smoothly. For everybody, people like I see the students, the couples that are here, everybody wants to know and understand the importance of, what this program is all about.
Rural dwellers still lag behind when it comes to financial inclusion, which has expanded over the years into several innovative payment solutions such as mobile money, agency banking, and USSD services to enhance convenience and accessibility. Stakeholders believe with consistent outreach, everyone can be covered.
So that's my electrician that was looking for a beach. If he had walked into a microfinance bank that has been receiving his payments, it will not be a problem because there, they don't require so much.
I don't have internet. I cannot carry out transactions without internet. The USSD is there. Oh, this one. So there are different excuses that you can come up with. But with these excuses, we have different payment channels that you can use to carry out transactions.
Other speakers educate the audience about digital transactions that can stimulate economic growth.
The latest data from the National Bureau of Statistics shows that headline inflation fell for the 7th consecutive month in October 2025 to 16.05% from 18.02% in September 2025, the lowest level in 3 years.
The program rounded off with another important message from the CBN on the need to protect the Naira. While this is a soft approach, it clearly indicates the consequences of abusing the nation's currency, which includes jail term.
We're talking empowerment now, where the Renewed Hope initiative, championed by the wife of the President, Oluremi Tinubu, has extended its nationwide food outreach to Imo State, bringing relief to vulnerable households grappling with the rising cost of living, as no fewer than 1,000 beneficiaries recently received food items. During the distribution exercise held at the Government House in Owerri, the Imo State capital, Mrs. Tinubu, represented by the wife of the Vice President, Nnamdi Kanu, stressed the importance of the outreach and the need to empower vulnerable persons in the society.
It's a day of relief and reassurance as the Renewed Hope Initiative RHI continues its nationwide food outreach, this time targeting vulnerable and persons with disabilities in Imo State. Beneficiaries including widows, elderly citizens, persons with disabilities, and low-income households gather at the Government House in Owerri, the Imo State capital, with hopeful anticipation. Representing Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, is the wife of the Vice President, Ajia Nnamdi Kanu. The wife of the Imo State Governor and Secretary of the Renewed Hope Initiative, Chioma Uzodimma, sets the tone for the event, reaffirming Mrs. Tinubu's commitment to easing the burden on families in tough economic times.
Economic challenges affect us all, but they weigh most heavily on the shoulders of our vulnerable populations. While we work on long-term solutions for economic growth and stability, we must continue to pacify the less privileged among us. This food outreach scheme is our response to that call, a bridge between today's challenges and tomorrow's possibilities. Food is more than sustenance. It is dignity. It is hope.
Ajia Shetima brings a message of continuity, empowerment, and inclusion from Mrs. Tinubu. She says the food outreach is only one part of the Renewed Hope Initiative's broader goal of supporting vulnerable Nigerians across all 36 states.
Our goal as Renewed Hope Initiative is to complement the Renewed Hope agenda of the Administration of His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, which aims to support all Nigerians to strive and achieve their goals irrespective of their condition or status. We have planned to launch more economic empowerment programs later this year, aimed at supporting the elderly and persons with disabilities across the country. On December 3rd, 250 persons with disabilities in each state will receive a sum grant of 200,000 naira as part of our commitment to promote inclusive growth and social protection for all. Furthermore, on December 16th, our elderly support scheme will provide a grant of 200,000 naira to 250 senior citizens in each state of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory.
Beyond food items, the beneficiaries are also giving financial assistance. For many here, the intervention could not have come at a better time.
So excited and happy. It will go a long way for us, these food items. At least it took us some weeks from now.
Hey, this thing, me and my family, we there strong and they're happy. And we are much happy because we will believe more than as before.
In the period of economic hardship, this gesture reinforces the renewed Hope Initiative's promise to support vulnerable Nigerians across several communities. And as the program moves to other states, thousands more are expected to receive similar relief items. Channels Television News.
In Abia, the state government, through the Commissioner for Lands, Chukwumerije, has launched phase 2 of its public sensitization campaign for the Get Your CFO in 30 Days initiative, with fresh assurances of a more transparent and accelerated land administration system. Speaking to journalists at the Ministry of Lands in Umuahia, the Commissioner for Lands urged the landowners, developers and residents to take full advantage of the ongoing enlightenment and the improved service window, saying the ministry has already adopted a strict tracking system that monitors every CFO request from submission to completion in order to uphold accountability.
Senior civil servants, journalists, as well as information officers from ministries of lands, departments and agencies in Abia State are here for this press conference organized by the Commissioner for Lands, Chaka Chukwumerije, to flag off phase 2 of its public sensitization campaign for the Get Your CFO in 30 Days initiative.
In line with the law, we pay fair compensation.
In his remarks, Chukwumerije restated that the Dr. Alex Oti administration has continued to prioritize efficient land management, revealing that 3,256 certificates of occupancy have been signed since the administration came on board. Of this figure, 1,778 were signed in 2025 alone.
Since the inception of this regime, Governor Alex Oti has signed 3,256 Cs of O. In this year alone, he signed 1,778 Cs of O. To put these numbers in context, the number of Cs of O signed within 2 years plus of this regime is higher than the total number of Cs of O signed in the last 7 years before the inception of this regime.
Also adding his voice at the briefing, Pastor Okoro Ugoaji, Special Assistant to the Governor on Lands and Housing, said the Dr. Alex Oti-led government is currently engaged in large-scale projects requiring land, new housing layouts, agro-industrial sites, and power infrastructure.
Right now in the state, from Opa to Osisioma, Isialangwa, Umuahia, Omonochi, Sukwato, all the acquisitions going on there are state acquisitions. So nobody should be afraid that land grabbers have come now. These are state projects that are going to help, to lift the state from where it used to be to where all of us want it to be.
The Dr. Alex Oti-led government says the renewed sensitization drive is aimed at deepening public understanding of the accelerated certificate of occupancy process and strengthening transparency across the system.
When we come back after the break, the Senate Committee on Security holds a hearing on security in Enugu State. Please join us again. Welcome back. The Senate Ad Hoc Committee on Northeast and Southeast Security, led by its chairman, Austin Akubundu, has assured participants at the one-day zonal summit on national security issues held in Enugu State that their inputs will be adopted in tackling security issues in the region. Now, according to Senator Akubundu, the Senate, through legislative action, will continue to play its role in strengthening national security architecture and build a prosperous and safe Nigeria. He also stated that the National Assembly will continue to play its role in ensuring that interagency collaboration among sister security agencies is sustained for the restoration of peace in the Southeast.
You turned out in your numbers because of the topical issue, which is insecurity. You have made very, very useful contributions, and I'm assuring you that this ad hoc committee will translate all your contributions to the Central Committee that we host a bigger summit. What is clear is that the Senate is very, very desirous using legislative instruments to ensure that there is a new order in terms of security management. And the Senate wants to rise to the occasion by legislating new laws or repealing old ones and add vibe and tonic to the security architecture.
Reactions are trailing the life imprisonment handed to the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu. Now, while the prosecution counsel applauded the Federal High Court's verdict, the defense has vowed to challenge the judgment in all superior courts. Our correspondent, Emanuela Akele, reports.
The trial of Nnamdi Kanu marks a major point in the administration of criminal justice, and the prolonged legal battle comes to a head, at least for now, following the delivery of the judgment by the Federal High Court. The prosecution counsel considers the judgment as a lesson for anybody who is causing trouble in the country, maintaining that nobody is greater than the nation.
Today, for seeing the end of this, and let it be a warning to those who may think they are bigger than Nigeria. Nigeria is bigger than every one of us. The law is bigger than every one of us. And the law will take its course to deal with miscreants, to deal with terrorists, to deal with criminals. You know, all of us are victims when we keep quiet. All of us are victims when we don't do what we ought to do. Therefore, let everybody be a Nigerian.
The defendant plans to appeal the judgment and urges the authorities to make Kanu accessible for the filing of the appeal, while calling for calm among his supporters.
From here, we are heading to the Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal is the only court in this country, or the next court in this country, that sits as a jury. We are going to approach the justices there to check out what happened in court today. And we are pretty sure the justices will agree with us that today was the symbol of the travesty of justice that everybody has been suspecting all along. If the Court of Appeal disagrees with us, we head to the Supreme Court. But by God Almighty, Nnamdi Kanu is not going to stand convicted. Not at all. He's going to get overturned.
I also want to plead with judiciary. Nnamdi Kanu is representing himself because the court has given the prosecution a blanket order to detain Nnamdi Kanu wherever they want. They should detain Nnamdi Kanu where we have access to file his appeal, because he has 90 days to file his appeal. And the judge said that the judgment will be ready in the next 15 minutes.
For now, many are expecting to know the protective custody where he would be kept. Emanuela Ekele, Channels Television News.
Thank you so much for watching this day's edition of a Newsroom series with our focus on the Southeast region. I'm Ayotunde Lolly.